Nah, you'll see. We'll come to it sooner or later. Sooner than you expect. Alright. I'm a bit late myself, so we'll just get straight into it. Oh shit. Alright. I'm not going to be going over a market update. I'll go over that in a video tomorrow. Go over what I think of the market. But yeah, for today, I'm just going to do the basics. Gonna go over a few setups on Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol, and then I'll let you lot choose a couple coins for me to chart up. Alright. So, in terms of Bitcoin, I shared this play yesterday, I believe. No, Thursday. Essentially, my confidence for this was, on a high time frame, we're still bullish. We're going to carry on being bullish until we break 75k and close below, 75.5k. And we close below it on a daily. So, in terms of that, I'm still favoring longs over shorts. Of course, not on a higher time frame, because when we look at our weekly, we're still bearish. So my confidence for that was 1, bullish structure on the daily. 2, we've got the golden pocket and the 786 fib, which is where I was going to DCA, but we got front ran a bit from my other point of interest, which was this high here. So we entered at the golden pocket. We had a DCA for the 786. Now, if you notice this, you can see that it's only a nearly 0.7R trade. The reason I took profit here is if we go on an even lower time frame, you can see we've got like a little head and shoulders forming it. Technical targets of this head and shoulders is all the way down at the 786 fib. So what can happen is we retest that, go lower to the 786, and then just go back up. Or what can also happen is we can go down to the 786 and we carry on dumping. Essentially, I just don't want to fumble all of these profits here. So I'm going to take profit, which I already have. I've posted it in the chat. I mean, in my channel. And we've moved stops break even. Now, in terms of shorts, if you're planning to short, this blue zone here is a very good place to do so, or even this little... Don't know if I'd even call it a supply zone. Yeah, nah, I'd probably call this more like an order block. Nah, this supply zone up there, you can also short that. Stops for this would be around... probably up here. This would be a separate trade. Stops for this would be up there. And aim for lower. So what I think is going to happen before we get moved down to the 60s is we get a move up to this blue zone here. Take all the liquidity up there. And then just dump lower to the 60s and eventually to the 40s. But like I said, this isn't so much a market update, so I'm just going to stick to trades. We are in an order block here. Slash supply zone. Oops. And we should have the golden pocket confluence. Yeah, you do. Not right at entry, but what you can do is you can take a short here. Stops probably up there. DCA at the golden pocket. And aim for lower. I don't really see the risk to reward in this trade, so I'm obviously not going to take it. But what can happen is, like I said, you've also got the head and shoulder here, which is this. So you'd probably take profit at this level of support here. That would give you a nice 1R. And then keep taking profit as we go down at support. Let me just clean this chart up a bit. Matter of fact, I'll just go on a new one. Voila. Still got this uptrend. Got this mini trend line here. So what you can also do is if we go lower down. Now this depends on how Monday opens. But let's say on Monday, I mean it's still Saturday, so Sunday also. But if we have like a nice little move up, a sufficient enough gap. So probably about like somewhere here. What you could do is you can play this as a demand zone. Price was pretty volatile there, so I'd say stops. I'll probably put stops there. Keep them quite tight because you can see it's quite volatile there. And aim for these highs. So if price goes like above there, comes back down, fills you, something like that could happen. Like I said, in terms of shorts, you're probably best shorting this little supply zone here, which is where I took profit on my long. But other than that, I don't really see anything else other than the trade we already took on my channel. And this. So I'll probably wait for some price action to develop here since we're in the middle of fucking nowhere pretty much. We've got for this supply zone, I guess. But other than that, pretty much nothing. I'll send both of these charts in the chat. Don't know why I deleted all of this, but okay. Alright, now on to ETH. You can see ETH on the daily, we're still in this channel. But what's happening is we are making highs, lows. So here we broke that low, lower high. Still making a lower high, so what can happen is we can break below that trend line, flip it, and head lower. So that's one trade you can take. If we break this trend line, flip it, that would be your short entry, short signal, and aim for lower. I'd probably put stops about probably above this resistance there. That's one trade you can take. Or you could also do, have a nice little order block up there with what should be the 786 fib. Right, you've got the golden pocket and the 786. That's another short you can take. But mind you, if we... Actually, no, we wouldn't. Yeah, the structure would still be bearish. Another thing you can watch out for is if we break out this channel, flip it, this would be your long entry. As when we have a parallel channel like this, what tends to happen when we break out and flip it is we have a move to the upside. So once we flip this upper trend line here, that'll be a long entry. I'll just put it here. Stops probably below this little supply zone here. If it does go up, I'll probably put it there. Aim for higher. Or if you want to be a little bit less risk, probably put them down there. Or if you prefer higher stops, you can put it there. So that's 3 little trades you can take. In terms of longs, you can see we've tapped this order block here. It's giving us a move up. Yeah, in terms of what I can see, I'd probably wait for this upper trend line to be flipped into support. And that's where I would long. Yeah, I can't really see anything other than that. Have you lot got any questions so far? Alright. Right now, time to go on to Valdi's favorite coin, Solana. I'm currently in a short. DCA has been filled. You can see we are currently sweeping these highs here. So on a daily, if we do close below 93.48, which is this high, that would be a swing failure pattern. Haven't touched charts in a while, so this is a good update for me. Yeah, tomorrow I'm probably gonna post like a proper market update, like going over the long-term outlook. So that should be alright for you. But you can see Sol's still in the range. So if we do sweep this high, that would also be a short signal. Stops below the high. That's if the daily closes above that wick, I mean below the wick, and target the range lows. So if it's to close here, that would give you a nice 10-hour trade to the lows. But of course, you want to take profit at levels of support. But yeah, in terms of my trade, I've got the 786 confluence there, which is where I DCA'd. And it looks like we're rejecting from that now. So I might de-risk a bit at break even, depending how Sol looks. But in terms of my first TP, I've got it down there. If I open up a new chart real quick. I'd probably call this a... This is one really volatile bitch. Nah, I'd probably put it there. There you go. If you're looking for longs on Soul, you have this little order block here. Is that... Yeah. So you've got a demand zone here. So if price does go back to fill this, you could take a long here. Stops low and aim for higher. That could be a long you could take. I'd probably DCA as support. So your average entry would probably be about here. Do you have any more confidence with that? Not really, no. So yeah, in terms of longs, this is one trade you can take. You don't really have any trend lines unless you go on a really low time frame. That's not valid. Yeah, this would probably be a riskier one. All you've got is the little demand zone and support. Don't really see anything else other than that. And oh yeah, and this trend line. So you could enter at the start of the supply zone, DCA at support, stops below the wicks, and aim for higher. If we go on a lower time frame, you can see we've also got a little demand zone here. That would have been your long limit entry. Aim for higher to wherever the resistance is. But if we do get a move back down, and close below that there, on the 1 hour we're going to be bearish. And also you have like a little Quasimodo pan that's pulling off. So a Quasimodo looks like this. Your entry would be there. So I'd probably short there, stops above this wick. Aim for this demand zone down here. Yeah, but in my eyes, on a lower time frame on Sol, until this happens, I probably wouldn't short it. And yeah. Let me send the ETH chart in chat too. Forgot to do that. Just make this clear. This is a sweep. And this one. Alright, that's pretty much all the steps I can see. I could probably chart ETH on a low time frame too. Actually, no, I guess I already did, yeah. just that supply zone. Alright, yeah, that's pretty much it for Bitcoin, Ethan. So, do you have any coins you want charted? On those starting to die out. It's rejecting from other resistance. Nope, stop trading lots in general. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, to be fair, I only stick to like the top 50 or top 100 odds. I don't trade lower than that. Let's have a look at AVAX. Yeah, you can see AVAX. We were rage bound for a bit. Since about February. So you can see here, this is currently an SR getting flipped into support. So if this closes above the resistance, that would be your long trigger. I'd put stops below here. I'd probably DCA at this little order block. Slash demand zone. That's where you could DCA. Aim higher. To the top of this order block. Got resistance here. That's where I would target to. You can take that on spot or on leverage, doesn't really matter. But I'd probably take this on spot since this is probably going to take a little while to play out. If it closes below, you could take this SFP. So this is fairly risky since we've already broken out the resistance and we're flipping it now. Although I guess this already swept it, so yeah, nah, I probably wouldn't take that. If it goes back down here too, you've also got a long down here. Aim for higher. Just because I put the targets up there doesn't mean that you won't be taking profit. This is just for show, basically. Let's go on an even lower time frame. Bounce from this low order block. You have this little crooked. Don't even know if I would call this head and shoulders. This just goes to show that the lower time frame, like, look, I guess you do have the head and shoulders here. You have the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Retested it, and you can see he's just blasted straight through. I guess Bitcoin is saying that, yeah, Bitcoin's just pumping. It just goes to show that the lower time frame stuff doesn't always play out. was also going to check. So Bitcoin pair. We're in the order block here, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a nasty little rejection down here. This is just further confluence for my short, really. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right, back to AVAX. But yeah, AVAX doesn't really look that bad, to be fair. The resistance just kept getting weaker and weaker. We had 1 touch, 2, 3, 4. Broke out. Broke back below. That was a deviation. 5, 6. And on the 7th touch, it broke out. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if AVAX gets a little run. And how much is that? That's 20%. If we now break below this, flip it to support, that'll be a short trigger. I'd put stops above whatever wicks here. And aim for range lows, because that'll be a deviation similar to what we had here. You can see, flip that. That'd be your short trigger. I'd put it above the candle. Aim for lower. To the lows, that would have given you 1.8 trade. But then, this is just a range play, so you could just keep playing the range. I would have put stops below this wick. To the highs, 2.5R. Short it again. I'd still put it above that. Didn't quite give you a touch of the lows, but that definitely would have hit some sort of TP in the mid range. Which probably would have been about there. TP there would have stopped you out break even here. And now you just wait. When we're consolidating out the mid range here, I spoke about this time and time again. I don't trade when it's doing that. Mostly because it's 50-50 in terms of the direction where, in terms of the, yeah, what price is going to do. Yeah, that's what I see on AVAX. Those are some trades you can take. If on the 1 hour we make another lower high, or even a higher high, I then break below this here, that would also be a short time frame. Low time frame short trigger. Aim for lower. That's a little conditional. But yeah, in terms of the long-term outlook now, it looks good. Like, yeah, until proven otherwise, I think this goes higher. So until we close back below this resistance line here, or support now, technically. So until we close back below this support, I think this runs higher. And yeah, that was hype holding up. We have a double bottom here, retested. Technical targets of this, up at these highs. So you could long now. Stops below this candle here. Aim for the highs. have an order block here. We're still in the uptrend, so you can take a long. Take profit out of these highs. Target these highs. Wow. We've got the golden pocket confluence and entry. You can DCA out support. If we close below, flip that to resistance. That would be a short trigger on the 4 hour. If that happens, we're going to be in another break of structure. Well, not break of structure. Structure would shift to bearish again. So that would be a good place to short. Stops wherever the candle is. Target lower. Yeah, that's... Yeah, hype doesn't really have too many plays in. You can see we bounced from the solar block. Bounced from it again. This order block would be too wide for my liking, so I'd probably go on a lower time frame if you think this goes down more. You can see it's already been tapped, but what can happen is you can either take this, or you can take it again, since 80 to 90% of it hasn't been tapped yet. You can take that again. Golden pocket confluence if it doesn't push lower. And yeah, that's what I see on hype. Alright, we've been recording for half an hour, so any coins you lot want chart out? If not, then I'll just end stream here. Alright, I'll take that as another then. Let me stop recording.